welcome back to another episode of Jay's Weekly Podcast. So obviously this is the third podcast in 2 days that we're posting, so it's not really
3 days. Oh no. Yeah, 3 days. 3 days.
3 days? Okay. Yeah, so this is it's not really weekly, but we got some new Shohei Ohtani news. And here to talk about it with you is Fru,
Drew, and Guru.
So, basically, as of right now, so you guys might not know this, but there have been some rumors and speculation. Where basically...
Big speculation.
Big speculation, yeah. So basically, what happened is, the day before Shohei Ohtani was rumored to have visited the Blue Jays spring training complex, a private jet flew from Anaheim, which is where he lives, to
Dunedin.
To Clearwater, which is close to Dunedin.
Yeah.
And then after that same private jet flies to Nashville for the winter meetings, and then back to Anaheim.
And
that same private jet, right now, as we're filming
is
this
going
podcast,
from Anaheim to Toronto. And then my big Shohei Ohtani!
And basically, the reason that the timing works is that Yusei Kikuchi has scheduled a dinner reservation
for 50-plus people. Hopefully, it's the team to welcome Shohei. I mean, Jose Barrios did do a video of him driving somewhere, so you never know.
On MLB Network.
And there's also believed to be security at the gate where the plane that might have Shohei Ohtani is going to be
landing and docking.
So there is a decently high possibility that Shohei is on that plane coming to Toronto today.
Although, once again, this could be Ross Atkins for all we know.
Could be Ross Atkins, yeah. But another thing, obviously you guys aren't listening to us live. You're listening to this after we posted it. If you listen to this and Shohei Ohtani has already signed somewhere, and it's not with the Blue Jays, then we probably sound super stupid right now, I gotta say.
But everyone's thinking this.
But everybody right now, as we film this, is thinking, man, Shohei Ohtani could be coming to the Blue Jays. Yusei Kikuchi, who used to be Ohtani's idol, has a dinner reservation in Toronto.
Jose Barrios is in the car, talking on MLB
Network. And Ohtani, or maybe it's Ohtani, is on a plane on his way to Toronto.
He apparently... Okay, so here's what we have on the flight. Let me just pull it up quickly. Hold on, just give me a second, everyone. Okay, so his flight is meant to be landing in 2 hours and 47 minutes at 4:32 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah.
So that is pretty soon. He has been in the plane for 1 hour and 5 minutes. He left at 9:40 a.m. Pacific Time. And the total travel time is going to be 3 hours and 52 minutes.
So, looking on the flight tracker right now, Shohei Ohtani, he is flying just over the northwest corner of New Mexico, about to make his way into, I believe that is, is it Minnesota? No, it's not Minnesota. What am I saying? About to make his way into Kansas and Colorado. So this is where Ohtani is right now, assuming it's Ohtani, and this might not be Ohtani, and we're just sound super stupid right now.
I mean,
but all evidence points to
that it is Ohtani. Once again,
it very much could be Ross Atkins.
Ross Atkins
going back and forth trying to get Shohei to like him and everything, so he actually ends up signing.
Well, back to, talking reasonably and not just shouting into the podcast, talking about Ohtani. The Blue Jays, they've already made their pitch, and now it's up to Ohtani, and so have the Dodgers.
It's up to Ohtani as well.
I just saw something where I believe that the Angels are out, but I'm not sure if that's confirmed. But right now, I think it's down between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers.
I probably agree with the fact that the Angels are probably out, because he's leaving Anaheim and he's going somewhere.
He's going to Toronto, clearly.
Yes.
Assuming that that's Ohtani.
Assuming that is Ohtani.
If it's not, I still will have hopes up that he will.
Do we have an updated pie chart?
We do not have an updated pie chart. Okay. Although, if I were to make my own pie chart right now,
I think the Jays would have gone up a little bit.
I would
70.
eliminate the Angels, Cubs, Giants, all those other teams, make it a 2-team pie. Put the Blue Jays at 55%.
Yeah, I'd get the Cubs in there.
I would not get the Cubs in there.
No?
I would put the Blue Jays at 55 and the Dodgers at 45.
The Braves?
I would not put the Braves in there.
I agree.
Yeah, so that is the biggest update that Fru can give you at this time on his pie chart. But
do we want to talk about? I know you guys might not want to. This is kind of just for me. Do we want to talk about Josh Hader?
We could talk about Josh Hader. But the one thing that maybe I'll mention about Josh Hader is that Shohei Ohtani's decision is holding up guys like him, guys like Cody Bellinger, Matt Chapman.
Yeah, what I feel is Shohei Ohtani's, I feel like everyone's kind of waiting for that moment to happen. And then all these players that are really good that are going to be traded,
they're going to go wait and see.
They're going to just wait and see, and depending on which team he might go to, they're going to kind of depict which team they're going to go off by that.
Depending on where Shohei goes, the other players who are still available, such as
Jorge Soler, Matt Chapman, Cody Bellinger. Even Yoshinobu Yamamoto and obviously Josh Hader as well.
Yeah. Yes, obviously. What should I call it?
I think what Drew's trying to say is, how does Ohtani's decision affect those free agents?
I remembered what I was going to say, guys. All right. So, with all the guys that are still there, once Shohei makes his move, depending on where he's going to go, they might be able to get a little more money than what they were probably worth because of the fact that now Shohei has gone somewhere else. Maybe you want to be strategic if you're playing teams in the AL East a lot. Like, if you're in the AL, you're going to be playing them more than teams in the NL. Mm-hmm. So maybe teams in the AL will be like, okay, we need to go out and get a powerhouse like Cody Bellinger to match the Juan Soto and hopefully the Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, so I think the Shohei Ohtani, right now, in my opinion, it's between Dodgers and Blue Jays.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe the Giants squeak in there.
Maybe the Giants squeak in there a tiny bit.
But I think, say one of those teams gets one of them will probably. The other one will want to get someone
Cody Bellinger, I'm assuming,
that kind of replaces Shohei they would have wanted, as Cody.
What I would say is that the one team that doesn't get Shohei will already have a lot of money put aside that if I was their GM, I would just buy someone who's good, who's at least close, not really, but he's up there in skill.
Yeah, the only guy I can think of there is Cody Bellinger. Obviously, a lot of people...
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
A lot of people are including Matt Chapman in that conversation, but watching Matt Chapman for a whole year, he's
on and off.
If Matt Chapman's listening to this, you're still a great baseball player.
Yes,
but
we love you still.
We still think you're a great player, but it's not. What I'm trying to say is that there's a massive drop off between Cody Bellinger and then the rest of the position player free agents. Now, for the next segment, I'm gonna give you my take on this too. If the Blue Jays sign Shohei Ohtani, what is your starting lineup?
If the Blue Jays sign Shohei Ohtani,
I feel like we need a guy to get on base first. Which I think would be Bo.
I think we could get someone in left, like Jorge Soler. I think it would go Bo Bichette at the 1, Shohei at the 2. 3 would be Vladdy. 4, George Springer.
Yeah, I think the lineup's really going to change with Shohei.
5, Kevin Biggio. 6, Davis Schneider. 7, Dalton Varsho. I don't think Alejandro Kirk should be our catcher. I want that to be Danny Jansen for the clutch. And then, obviously, Jorge Soler will be at the 9.
So if my take on that, so if we were to sign Jorge Soler, I don't think he would be hitting 9th. I probably put Schneider hitting 7th, Varsho hitting 9th, and Soler hitting 6th.
I would make Danny Jansen hit, in the 5 spot.
And another interesting thing about that is you think you should have Bichette leading off and Springer cleaning up and not the other way around? Or do you think it should be Springer leading off and Bichette cleaning up?
I agree with that.
Okay, and then what about you?
Near the end of the
was
season.
hitting 5th in end of July.
We get what you're trying to say.
They did make some lineup changes towards the postseason.
Yes,
though.
they did.
They had Chapman hitting 8th, Varsho hitting 9th, Kiermaier 7th.
Which is something I will say. Because
hitting 6th, or Brault hitting 2nd.
I do want to say something to that because changing your lineup
is risky
a lot before the end of the season, before the playoffs, is risky because you've played one way most of the season with slight changes, and then you go around and take a sledgehammer and just absolutely destroy the lineup.
Well,
although it wasn't that bad. It was
sorry to interrupt you there, Drew, but I think that I don't blame John Schneider for changing that lineup.
No, I agree.
It started to work near the end of the season.
It did start to work
in the postseason, but
I
to
was
be honest, when you're facing Pablo Lopez and Sonny Gray, I understand that the lineup should have done more, but you can't expect 10 runs a game.
No, you can't. But I mean, I was thinking
they at least need to get some because we've seen that in the Jose Barrios game, everyone's blaming that he should have been out later, which I also agree.
No,
with.
that was.
But it didn't really matter because the offense could not do anything.
I agree, but they shouldn't have taken him out that
No,
early.
they should not.
So let me flip this question around then. What does the Blue Jays lineup look like without Ohtani?
Without Ohtani, I would go George Springer at the 1.
Yeah.
In the 2, I would go Vladdy.
Okay.
In the 3, I would put Bo.
Okay.
In the 4,
yeah,
this is where it gets a little bit interesting.
This is where it gets interesting.
So, in the 4, I'm going to put Danny Jansen.
Okay.
Because clutch,
Yep.
he hits for power in those late innings.
Yep.
His OPS is over 1,000 in extra innings, I think in the 8th.
Yeah,
right?
I believe so.
And so going forward from that, I'd go 5th. Batting 5th would be Kevin Biggio.
Okay.
6th, I would go with Dalton Varsho.
Where's Bo?
Can I see that thing again? I put him at the 3.
So, when in Danny Jansen's OPS in the 9th inning and extra innings,
it's like 900 and 1,000
it's almost
or something.
1,000 in the 9th inning, and it's over 1,100 in the...
Yeah. I mean, I would put... So, I had 5 Kevin Biggio, 6 Dalton Varsho. I'd go 7 Davis Schneider.
Okay.
I would go 8. I don't know. I'm a little lost here for the 8 and 9.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so...
I mean, signing Jorge Soler would definitely fill in one of those spots, but then we're still short of one.
The one thing I'm going to say to that is the reason I asked that question was to put into context how bad this Jays lineup would seem if they don't get Ohtani. But the thing is, if you're Ross Atkins, right, your plan A was to get Ohtani, your plan B was to get Soto. It should be expected that the Yankees are going to get Soto, and it should be expected that the Dodgers get Ohtani.
Yeah.
I obviously, like I said earlier, I'm putting the Jays at 55%, but your realistic plan going into this offseason would have probably been plan C.
Yeah.
And that plan C still has to be good.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And
which is a problem. We talked about this in the last episode. We haven't really been talking to most other people. Yeah. We should have started talking to other people. Which that was Gru's point.
And going back to the lineup thing, I feel like the first game of the season is always very interesting, especially when there's like a whole bunch of new guys on the team, because I feel like whatever the lineup is, it's kind of expected them to be in that kind of area for the whole season.
So I agree with that. I would just say first series instead of first game, or even like first 10 games.
Yeah.
And then last question here.
Yeah.
If they do get Shohei Ohtani, do you think he'll actually be able to pitch in 2025? And if you do you think he'll be a starter? Do you think he'll be a closer?
In 2025, 2025 is next season or no?
2024 is next season.
So no, I think he will be able to pitch in 2025. Then my bad, I'm not the best with numbers, as you guys know.
Yeah.
But I think he will be able to pitch in 2025, hopefully.
And I think.
but in 2024, I would, if he's like Bryce Harper, once again, you could put him at first base. You could put him somewhere in the outfield.
But you got
DH a lot, but he can still hit, which is perfect.
I think just they should really get Shohei getting kind of warming up and stretching almost every day to get that arm back in
prepared.
Yeah,
too.
and prepared to get it in action if you're going to pitch next year.
Hopefully, if he makes a fast recovery like Bryce Harper.
Yep.
Maybe in the postseason next year for 2024.
Oh, Drew's getting into the big ideas now.
We could use him if he's not perfectly if there's
if he's not perfect, he'll be better than Alec Manoah.
No, but if there's still not a good chance, and if his arm's still a little iffy, we could make him a relief pitcher or closing pitching.
Yeah.
Closer would probably be the best option. But if he's good to pitch, then he could be a starting pitcher, which could be a very
And I feel like they should
thing.
The first time Shohei pitch, even if he's kind of unsure of is my arm okay or is it not, they should put him in for maybe 10 pitches as a reliever and see how he feels.
The first time he pitches will be in spring training, and yes, he will only throw.
Yeah,
it'll
just
that's
be
the same with
see.
every other spring training pitcher. But so that does wrap it up. Obviously, this is a bit of a shorter episode than usual, but this
it wasn't. You'd be surprised.
But this is an emergency podcast, and we just wanted to update everybody on this Ohtani flight information. So thanks so much for listening. Blue Jays Weekly Podcast, we're out!